Hi everybody, this is sjsrana Rana reporting for July 9th, 2021 at about 14:27 hours UTC. What we're looking at is view graph of sun. Recently sun has been flaring up and this is the beginning of cycle 25. I think we're going to see a lot of blackouts all around. Recently we witnessed the blackout in Asia, Africa, and most part of Europe. So going forward, this is something where we got to take a look that sun is started with the new cycle, and this is going to be phenomenal. Also, let's come down to coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, which seems to be quite out of hand still. Though some of the zones like India have subsided, but Delta virus, the Delta variant from India, happens to be a threat, a global concern for all over the world. And mostly we see CDC from the US releasing some cautions and warnings for the public, general citizens, that there is something which they understand as B.1.617.2, highly transmissible and highly contagious. Obviously, this doesn't seem to be having high morbidity, or you can say high level of deaths or fatalities due to Delta variant, but the infections have really spiked in US all over the world. So this is something I guess folks have been telling all over again. You can see this recent article where I've always cautioned that Delta plus and plus more mutations are going to be there, and I think by August 2021 India is going to witness third wave. So right now in India people are enjoying, they're having social gatherings everywhere you see, they're intermingling, and mostly we're concerned about India massive sexual predators who you basically prey on females, and those viruses we are more concerned because the propagation method of STD plus the COVID-19 mutations can basically reveal or unveil new mutations and new highly contagious viruses. So going to the global biosecurity, where we need to have a draft for from the WHO, where we prohibit those nations that don't follow vaccinations or green passports or green value for the vaccination drive. Recently, there is another news which is heated up. Cairn, which is Cairn Energy from the UK, has won the order from the court of France, Paris, basically to seize India government assets. So it has already taken over 20 properties and assets of India government, because for very long time Cairn Energy has been warning, asking India government to come on the table and settle 1.4 billion tax evasion by India government, or you can say some tax dispute. But this has been ongoing so long that they have to go through multiple jurisdiction, not even alone in France, but they have to go through whole Europe, where they could not get any answer from India government to settle this 1.4 billion US dollar tax evasion or tax laundering, you can say. So now it has to pay a huge penalty, and this has been going on for so long that it has tried all the levels, all the different bureaucracy of India government, but they did not realize that Cairn Energy is going to pursue the matters and going to pin down India government. Now India government has a very, very big sorry figure, or also to do a damage control, because they are now into a fix and they have orders of the court from the France to seize the India government assets, which are being done by Cairn Energy wherever they find it. So folks, you can see how this has gone through different ball game now. Also we see cybercrime increasing all over the world, but America recently posted some numbers, whereas almost around 30 billion US dollars were lost to the cyber criminals. So cyber attackers are all over. Ransomware, we are already aware, which has already taken down 20 nations and plus, and this has been going on, and India is on the crux, on the epitome of it, and every month they are saying 200 to 300 cases for a small state of Punjab alone is reporting cybercrime. And most of the cybercrimes not alone directed to the wealthy extortion schemes, but also to the females. So most of the females are vulnerable, especially the kids, the girls, where they steal the identity theft. Also, there is another thing which is deepfake video, where people can mask their videos with some other mask, and they can then try to extort or try to blackmail the parties. This is the map of India where we find how much the rape meter, you can say rapometer in India. This is the pathetic situation, horrific, horrible situation. This is basically based on every 17 minutes a female is raped in India. It's a very conservative number, but if you look at it, it's every 5 minutes, to my understanding, because 90% of the rapes, sexual assaults are not reported because of the stigma, because of the threat or blackmailing by the teamwork of the sexual predators. Also, this is going concern, whereas a lot of media is blaming other religious activities, or they are being defaming some of the other religion by using the names, like especially the tantric, or it's a black magic a way of doing things, but tantric has a good way also of doing things. However, recently they caught some of these communal groups, Muslim groups, where they found these three people who were using these techniques of black magic and to enslave females. So, folks, this is a report all over the world where we are finding these females are exposing the India gurus, or the so-called godmans, who have been basically sexually enslaving females just based on few spiritual powers. Whenever you do some sort of religious ceremonies or some sort of religious penance, you get some spiritual powers, which is known as siddhi, and these have been documented now even on my WordPress. You can go to the onewordpress.wordpress.com and log in to see what I have tried to portray long time back, that these India so-called godmans or yoga schools gurus are basically lot many times found to be sexually enslaving females. From the US, having become Chaudhary, very popular hot yoga guru, was found multiple female sexual assaults. Also, just like you see such a case of every other yoga guru, and mostly this has been a big problem. Okay, quickly switching on to the other topic, which is regarding the Carl Rock, also on the YouTube, known as from the New Zealand, very famous. He has got almost 1.8 million subscriber. Recently, there was a big concern raised, or big lambasting India government, big concern that he was blacklisted for some good reason, which is unknown to him. But somehow India government authorities have not been able to portray why his visa was blacklisted. So Carl has been going from door to door, knocking door to door. He has also put it on YouTube, 269 days separated from my family, my wife, and blacklisted hashtag. So this is a big concern for individual who basically is following all the norms, but somehow at a minor lapse, which the authorities claim that his visa expired, but he said it was not the case. When he left the country, India, basically, he was not labeled as he has been violating any overstay norms. So you can see his whole life has been turned upside down, and it seems to be something where I can understand the sense of the gravity of the situation. He is very active on social media. Obviously, he is having 1.8 million followers in YouTube and Twitter and elsewhere. He has got a lot of followers. So somewhere, if he has spoken anything against India government or taken a stand of any political movement or any social cause, then he's a target. I can understand Carl's Rock situation, and I understand this is something to do with India government. They are basically a massive surveillance state, and any foreigner is more taken under the surveillance. Even when I returned from US America to India in 2010, I understand how I was totally monitored and surveillanced, because I know the techniques they used to use. So this is not a new case, but I understand the ordeal Mr. Carl and the family is going. You can see the wife running through doors to door. Even Union Home Ministry, they visited officials. She visited, and even she has filed a petition in the High Court of India, asking why he is blacklisted and why his husband is not allowed in India. So there is a big spin, I think, going around here, which world community has to take a look. How India is becoming totally authoritarian state, and it is becoming more like a completely self-run, self-indoctrinated state where the laws cited are being misused. The reason they basically classified here for Carl's Rock is basically that he is doing business on tourist visa. What a funny thing. Why such a thing without having any proof of business or any association like that? Why would they label him in such a category? So anyways folks, I understand and I have full sympathy and condolence to Carl's Rock. I hope he gets this resolved quickly, because separation from his family and his family is missing him also. Okay, well folks, if you want to reach me, you can always call me at this number. We're going to wrap this session now, and I've going through all these global events and what I've seen with the car, I'm really moved because I've seen a lot of such things towards me. You can call it metaphor, you can call it, hate crime, you can call it the approach towards containing and curtailing the free speech, the free information, or the truth tellers. Even I have gone through all these in length in various videos, clippings. I've on YouTube. You can always search by sjsrana on YouTube. Also, you can search. This was where I used to write articles a lot. It's been like 10 years of philanthropy, human rights activism, social activism. I've been trying to tell what's the right way, what's the thing which is going on, what is not going in the right order. Because if you look at it, the reason for the humanity to exist is to expose the evil. And evil could come in many forms, where you can see hate crimes. I've seen through me going through at my doorsteps, people have threatened me in many different ways. They tried to conspire against me, sabotage my identity, all these cybercrime against me. I know my phone numbers is highly tapped by the authorities. They are highly surveillance by the authorities. Many times even I received the callers telling me that when they call my phone number, they are unable to reach me. Basically, it keeps buzzing or it gets engaged. And sometimes they've also reported some other person speaks and redirects them or detours them to somebody else. And this is quite strange because I've been documenting all these things. And I tell you, folks, this is so hard to work in India as a philanthropy or as a truth teller, because over here nobody likes to hear truth so much. That's why I keep telling, in India, 8 out of every 10 India population is downright corrupt, mostly morally, ethically bankrupt, and pathological liars. That's what I have to say, folks, about India. I've observed this for almost 10 years, 12 years since I've arrived here from the America, the US, Canada. I've worked there a lot. I love those people there because they're at least telling truth, and they face the truth and they know what they're saying is what they mean it. Also, many attempts were there to sabotage my identity, but somehow because of my social media presence, I was able to survive all these ordeal, or you can say, different sort of tests which were given to me. And, for if you talk about such case from the Carl Rock, who's facing such an ordeal, I've gone through such same things. My passport was withheld by Indian authorities for almost over 10 months for no good reason. It's the renewal of my passport, and the file was kept at some place or some other place. I'm least concerned. I have followed a process to apply for reissuance of my passport, and I should get it in time, which I didn't. It took me 10 months, folks. The whole 2019 was wasted of mine just to get the passport renewal done from Indian government. And then there was pandemic, COVID-19 restrictions. So I could never take off. I could never leave India. Well, anyways, folks, COVID-19 has taught enough lesson to the world, to the folks who have basically playing the black game, or behind the scenes. They have been trying to now understand the black karma reckoning back. And it's the karma, which comes back and haunts you. So I feel the philanthropy has to say one thing, that to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. But in case of the malefic karmas, there is not equal reaction. It is compounded by the time. So that's why I keep telling folks, and I keep writing this, that reality is subjective. Finding object reality is our objective. That's my statement for last 7-8 years. I've been putting it on. Reality is subjective. Finding our objective. And you see, the ordeal I've faced many fake and fabricated cases in India. You can see these two listed cases here, which were labeled on me, and they were totally found fake and fabricated by these people. I've listed them over here because this case is decided by the Sasnagar District Court, Mohali, which basically put me in favor and showered the light that the truth falls on my part, that I have been telling truth all along and they have been fake and fabricated and falsifying their records. Even recently there was Delhi High Court rebuking India government that why governments come and lie in courts. So you understand what kind of institution is being run here. It's very pathetic, and the apathy of the humanity is the Indian 1.4 billion population, that they don't come and protest and demand some transparency in working in order so that the truth is revealed. Truth is always foreshined, everywhere. Folks, I wrap up here and I leave you with the 25th cycle solar. So let's watch and observe. We're going to see it's heating up soon. Okay, folks, I take the lead.